Welcome back to my channel. Today, I would like to talk about a poem by Li Bai. I have posted about a dozen videos about Li Bai and his poems. However, given how important Li Bai is to the Chinese poetic history, I certainly should make more videos about him. I have been thinking what I should do to present an accurate portrait of this extraordinary poet. He is known as the drunken poet, an excellent swordsman, a generous friend, and a free spirit, etc. There are so many stories about him, making him one of the most fascinating figures in Chinese literature. He even made his way into an online game as an assassin, as shown in one of my recent posts. So, I'm just going to present a few more poems that I think best representing his character. I'm Dr. Gao, a philosopher obsessed with poetry. I make videos about classical Chinese poetry, philosophies, and traditional Chinese medicine. Please click the like button and subscribe my channel. Your support is very important to me. I also offer one-to-one online lessons on these subjects. So, if you would like to have personally tailored lessons on these subjects, please contact me. Here's my email address. Now, back to today's poem. The title of the poem is Shang Li Yong, or Presented to Li Yong. This is a poem composed after Li Bai allegedly met with an official named Li Yong between 718 and 721 CE. The background of this poem is not very clear. There is no historical record about the meeting and what happened at the meeting except what is said in this poem. However, maybe a bit of background about Li Yong could shed some light on what had happened. Both 旧唐书, or the old edition of the Tang Dynasty history, and the 新唐书, or the new edition of the Tang Dynasty history, reported an incident soon after Li Yong was appointed as a low-rank official in 701 CE, although slightly differently. One day, the deputy director of the censorate named Sheng Jing attacked the Empress Wu Zhetian's two lovers, the Zhang brothers, because they consulted the astrologist about the fortune of the empire without permission and requested that they be punished. The new edition of the Tang Dynasty history presented the most vivid account of this incident. The deputy director censored Sheng Jing proposed to impeach the Zhang brothers for the crime of treason. Empress Wu would not allow it. Li Yong stood up and shouted. What Jing stated concerns greatly to the future of the whole empire. Your Majesty should listen to him. The Emperor's expression softened and accepted Sheng Jing's proposal of prosecuting the Zhang brothers. After Li Yong left the court, someone reminded him, Your position is very low. As soon as you act against the Empress, there is unfathomable risk. Li Yong said, If I do not do this, my name would not be known. There are also records of similar stories about Li Yong risking his life to challenge the authority to make a name of bravery and moral integrity. At the time when he met Li Bai, he was again exiled to the remote region of Sichuan as a governor to a small state, Yuzhou, because he had a fallout with the then premier Yao Chong. Apparently, Li Yong did not recommend Li Bai as he requested. However, years later, Li Bai changed his view about Li Yong when the letter was framed and executed by the evil premier Li Linfu in 746 CE. Li Bai praised Li Yong in one of his poems. I'll set the poem later. In the early 720s, Li Bai was not very happy with Li Yong. Now, let me read the poem Li Bai presented to Li Yong. 大鹏一日同风起，团摇直上9万里。假令风歇时下来，犹能簸却昌明水。世人见我横书调，闻于大言皆冷笑。宣父犹能为后生，丈夫未可轻年少。Now, let's look at the first two couplets. 大鹏一日同风起，团摇直上9万里。假令风歇时下来，犹能簸却昌明水。大鹏 is a huge bird described by the Chinese philosopher and writer Zhuangzi of the 4th century BCE. Zhuangzi states that there is a face in the Northern Ocean by the name of Kun. It is so big, I don't know how many thousand miles long it is. It turns into a bird by the name of Peng. Its bike, I don't know how many thousand miles long it is. When it takes off, its wings spread like the clouds hanging from the sky. It sounds like a mythical bird from the Middle East, so David and I translate 大鹏 as the rock. 一日 means one day. 同 means with. 风 means wind. 起 means rise. 团 means to ride on the wind. 摇 refers to 扶摇, a strong tornado. 团摇 means to ride on a tornado. 直上 means soaring up. 9 means 9. 1 means 10,000. Li is the Chinese counterpart for mile. 假 means pretend. Ling refers to an event. 假令 means to imagine an event. So David and I translate the term as in the event. 风 means wind. 歇 means abate. 时 means when. 下来 means to come down. 有 means still. 能 means can. 跛 means winnow, as shown in this painting. 却 means to retreat or step back. 跛却 is used to describe the swell and the plunge of the huge waves. 昌明 refers to the dark blue ocean. To make it sound archaic, David and I translate it as emerald main. 水 means water. So these two couplets can be translated as the rock will rise with the wind one day, in a soaring spiral 90,000 miles high. In the event he comes back down when the wind has abated, the waves of the emerald main will plunge and swell. 世人见我横书调，闻于大言皆冷笑。宣父犹能为后生，丈夫未可轻年少。世 means world, 人 means people, 见 means see. 我 refers to the self, so we translate it as me. 横 means always. 书 means different. 调 means tone. 闻 means hear. 于 usually is used to refer to the self, but here it is used as a pronoun to connect the self with the word. 大 means grand. 言 means word. 大言 means grand words. 皆 means all. 冷笑 means sneer. 宣父 refers to Confucius. 有 means even. 能 means would. Wei means in awe of. 后生 refers to the generation born after oneself. So David and I translate the term as the rising generation. 丈夫 literally means a man 10 feet tall, but here it refers to a great master. Wei means not, 可 means would, 轻 means look down upon. 年少 refers to the young. So these two couplets can be translated as people of this world see me always playing to a different tone. Hearing my grand words, they all sneer. Even Confucius was in awe of the rising generation. A great master would not look down upon the young. The first 4 lines cited almost word by word from Zhuangzi chapter 1, describing the mighty bird Dapeng's southbound flight. They describe how the giant bird soaring up to the sky and the huge waves stirred up by its wings. The 5th and 6th lines continued Zhuangzi's story about how the small birds laughing at the big birds act as meaningless. In the original text, Zhuangzi uses this story to argue that people with different values and goals could not understand each other's accents. Zhuangzi's position is quite clear that the meaning of life should not be confined by conventions, norms, or externally imposed constraints. Others' opinion means nothing to someone like the giant bird. The cultural significance of these 6 lines is striking here. Li Bai is declaring that he is not going to be restrained by conventions. I have mentioned in my introduction video to Li Bai's life. Because he was born into a merchant family and banned from sitting the civil service examination, hence banned from entering the bureaucratic ranks. However, to realize his political ambition, he was determined to enter the politics. Seeking a mentor's recommendation was one of the ways that he could obtain a position in the ranks. Even if Li Yong snubbed him and others laughed at his ambition, they mean nothing to him. In the last 2 lines of this poem, Li Bai cited from the analyses to defend his action. Now, let me explain the cultural significance of the last 2 lines. Li Bai did not use Confucius' name like he did in his other poems, but a reverend title Xuan Fu to represent Confucius. This title was reverted to Confucius in 637 CE by the second Tang Emperor Li Shi-min. It was a political move to obtain the support of the Confucius scholars from the Hebei and Shandong area, which used to support his political rival and former crown prince Li Jiancheng. After Li Shi-min killed Li Jiancheng and forced his father abdicating the throne to him in a military coup, Li Shi-min met with strong opposition from the scholar officials from Shandong and Hebei. This was because Shandong and Hebei had been the stronghold of Confucianism since the late Zhou dynasty. And for Confucian scholar officials, from this reason, the former crown prince Li Jiancheng was the legit heir to the throne, and Li Shi-min was the traitor who usurped the throne from his father and brother. According to a recent paper by a scholar from the Academy of Social Science in Beijing, Li Shi-min committed at least 6 of the worst kinds of crimes listed in the Tang Dynasty law, which encoded Confucian moral values. So, for Li Shi-min to obtain the support from these reasons was almost a mission impossible. I listed the paper in the description section down below if you would like to read it. What Li Shi-min did to win over the Confucian scholar official were first to promote Confucius' status to that of Duke Zhou as the greatest sage in Chinese history. Then convinced two of the most important advisors of the former crown prince, Wei Zheng and Wang Gui, that he was serious to implement Confucius' teaching in his policy and appointed both of them to very important positions, and sent them to Shandong and Hebei province to pacify the officials and the scholars there. Apparently, Li Shi-min's strategy was quite successful because he eventually won over most of the Confucian scholar officials. Now, I would also like to talk a little bit about the title Xuan Fu. Xuan is the title that summarizes the virtues of Confucius. This practice of summarizing a political figure's character with one or two characters was a tradition established during the Zhou dynasty. This practice was recorded in a text called Yi Zhou Shu, or the left-out Zhou history. The earliest written Chinese history is called Shangshu, allegedly edited by Confucius. This is the official history of the dynasties before Confucius. It includes Yu Shu, or the history of Yu, Xia Shu, or the history of the Xia dynasty, Shang Shu, or the history of the Shang dynasty, and Zhou Shu, or the history of the Zhou dynasty. Yi Zhou Shu is the Zhou dynasty history left out from the official Zhou dynasty history. In this text, there is a chapter called the Shi Fa, or the rule for titles. In this text, it explains that Xuan means preaching virtues. Apparently, this was what the Emperor Li Shi-min meant to award this title to Confucius. I think this was exactly what Li Bai had in his mind when he addressed Confucius as Xuan Fu. He was trying to remind Li Yong that he should learn from Confucius and be virtuous in promoting the talented young ones, as stated in the next line. Another important point I would like to make about these last two lines is that they are a direct quote from the analyses where Confucius stated that the young should be held in awe. How do we know that the rising generation won't be as good as the current one? Only when someone in his 40s or 50s and yet to make a name for himself should not be held in awe. So, in these last two lines, Li Bai not only cited the analyses to tell Li Yong that he should not look down upon him because of his young age, but also meant to ridicule Li Yong that he was a nobody and did not deserve much respect because by this time Li Yong was probably in his 50s and as a governor at Yuzhou, a small remote county far away from the capital, he hadn't done anything worth noting. Given the fact that Li Yong was an impulsive person and would do anything to build a name for himself, this attack must hurt him real bad. However, Li Bai changed his opinion about Li Yong later in his life, especially after Li Yong was beaten to death, ordered by the evil premier Li Linfu. In a poem probably composed in the early 750 CE, Li Bai mentioned Li Yong in the following couplets: 君不见李北海，英风豪气今何在？ Don't you see Lord Li, the governor of North Sea? Where would we find someone with his bravery and integrity? It is probably because there were less and less officials who dared to challenge the authority like Li Yong, even if they did it to make a name of moral integrity and bravery for themselves. No one valued moral integrity and bravery anymore. Li Bai also claimed that he was related to Li Yong and composed a poem when he visited Li Yong's home in 758 CE. In some aspect, Li Bai shared many qualities with Li Yong. Both of them were ambitious and none of them followed the Confucian norm for behavior nor conformed to the social hierarchy of Imperial China. This might be the reason that Li Bai eventually changed his view about Li Yong, even though Li Yong rejected him in his youth. This poem is quite typical in expressing Li Bai's poetic style, showing his mastery of language and literary knowledge of his time. If you recall that he composed this poem at the tender age of 20 years old, you, me, and many other people today will still marvel at the extraordinary poetic talent of Li Bai. I'm Dr. Gao, a philosopher obsessed with poetry. I make videos about classical Chinese poetry, philosophies, and traditional Chinese medicine. Please click the like button and subscribe my channel. Your support is very important to me. Any small donation to my channel is much appreciated so that I can afford technical support and focus my attention on making better videos for you. I also offer one-to-one online lessons on these subjects. So, if you would like to have personally tailored lessons on these subjects, or read the classical Chinese text with me, please contact me. Here's my email address. Thanks for watching my video. I'll see you next time.